Hello, in this video I'm going to focus on the index middle right hand pattern and also on some ideas for getting the hands to interact nicely together. I remember when I first learned these scales feeling a lot of stress and mental fatigue, trying to get the hands to do what they needed to do individually, but also getting these kind of complicated coordinations and sort of to synchronize the motions of the hands. And so what I hope to do in this course is sort of ramp the difficulty up gradually so that you have a smooth ascent towards mastery. So my first recommendation, important recommendation here, is that you practice the right hand alone for the Segovia scales. And the way that you want to do this is think about how many notes you have per string in each pattern. So in the case of the C major scale, you've got 2 notes on the 5th string, then you've got 3 notes on the 4th string, 4 notes on the 3rd string, etc. And then what you will do is take a pattern, in this case index middle, and play alternating, sort of walking through the scale and crossing onto the next string at the appropriate time after the appropriate number of notes have been played. And so let's try to build this together. If we start with index, middle on the 5th string, then we play index, middle, index on the 4th string. On the 3rd string we have 4 notes and we've crossed over with middle. So we play middle, index, I, 3 notes on the next string, there are going to be 5 notes on the 1st string. Index, middle, index, middle, index, then M, I, M, I, M, I, M, I, M, I, M, I. Now this might take you quite a lot of time actually if you're just starting out, and perhaps if you are an intermediate player and you've already been playing scales, you might find this not so challenging, but I want you to really try to play and speak or say the right hand fingering at the same time and watch your hand. Because what you might find is that on the ascent or on the descent of scales, you have been repeating fingers and you're not even aware or haven't been aware that you're doing it. And it can be a real limiting factor in how smooth and sort of continuously you can play scales or music. And so my challenge to you, I guess, is to, after this video, just pause, play the C major scale, right hand alone, and say the right hand fingers. So let's do this one more time together. Index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, I, M, 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 I, So if you can do that, then I would recommend one more step. And the step, of course, is to put the hands together. But as I mentioned, in the interest of sort of ramping up the difficulty in a gradual way, I want to introduce one more concept, and it's the concept of repeated notes. Now, repeated notes are great for building speed, but they're also great for this thing of allowing the left hand to play more slowly, having more time to think about the upcoming finger, while the right hand is sort of motoring away and really getting this alternation motion to be second nature and automatic. So my recommendation for this one is to play 6 repeated strokes per left hand note. Let me demonstrate. So I'll play the C major scale, and I'll play index, middle, index, middle, index, middle for every single note. Take a look. And I'm playing sort of a detached. Stroke. I'm preparing the upcoming finger onto the string really quickly. We'll talk about that more later. So in summary, index, middle on just the open strings according to the left hand pattern, and then putting the hands together but starting with repeated notes. Now, as you become more and more familiar with this process, then take one note off of the 6 notes, so you have 5. And what will happen is you'll start to cross onto the next note or the next string with a different finger each time. It will alternate. In other words, with 6, because it's an even number, I always cross with index. Index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, and then I would cross with index, right? But if I do 5 or 3 or 1, an odd number, then the crossing is different every time. So you reduce one note at a time, and then you get down to 1. So, one finger per note in both hands, all the way through. So in the next video, we're going to talk a little bit about free stroke and rest stroke. So let's move forward to that. Here we go.